Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are gonna look at an anime called as Charlotte. Yu Otosaka, a boy with an ability to temporarily possess anyone in his line of sight for 5 seconds, abuses his powers by looking at other students' answers during exams. He manages to enter the prestigious Hinomori High School, where he once again uses his ability to woo the popular Yumi Shirayanagi. Yu's perfect scores catches the attention of Student Council President Yoshiyuki Omura, who challenges him to retake the exam on his own or to face expulsion on the grounds of cheating. This turns out to be a trap set up by the girl named Nao Tomori, who has been observing his abilities in action. Yu attempts to flee there but is caught by Jojiro Takajo, who can move at uncontrollably high speed, after which Nao, who can make herself invisible to a specific target, beats up Yu. And that's why Nao arranges for him and his little sister Ayumi Otosaka to be transferred to Hoshinomi Academy, a school for those with the abilities like him. Getting dumped by Yumi as a result of the restriction forced upon him, Yu reluctantly prepares for his new life as a member of Hoshinomi Academy Student Council. In this high school, Yu is tasked as a member of the student council to ensure the safety of students with special abilities. During lunch, Jojiro seemingly gets hurt after demonstrating his developing teleportation skills to Yu in the cafeteria to grab some sandwiches. He tells Yu that Nao has no female friends due to her selective invisibility powers. Afterwards, a boy named Takehito Kumagami, who can detect people with abilities, guides Yu, Nao and Jojiro to Namba High School. The three of them catches a student named Udo, who uses his photography ability to produce X-ray photos of girls in their underwears, selling them for a profit to support his ill parents. After they threaten him, Udo agrees to stop using his ability. The next day, Nao takes Yu to see his big brother, Kazuki Tomori, a musician who was experimented on for his abilities to manipulate sound waves and has been left unstable and insane ever since then. Nao explains that thanks to a particular person she trusts, she was able to escape for a school that experimented on her brother and to bring him to a healthier environment. In the next episode, Yu eats lunch at the cafeteria again with Jojiro, who risks injury by using his teleportation ability to get the best beef curry for the both of them. In their mission to find a user supposedly with two abilities, Yu, Nao and Jojiro encounters popular singing idol and vocalist of the band How Low Hello, Yusa Nishimori, who is being chased by someone. With the help of her friend Sho, the three fight off her pursuers, finding out afterwards that Yusa is a medium, frequently being possessed by deceased elder sister Misa Kurobane, who has the ability of pyrokinesis. Yusa explains that she was pursued having accidentally brought home a television producer's phone, which holds shady facts against him. Now devises a threatening plan to deal with the television producer, and that night Misa, in the guise of Yusa, confronts the television producer. With help from the others, she convinces the television producer to leave Yusa alone and return the phone to him. Afterwards, Nao arranges for Yusa to transfer at Hoshinomi Academy. Following Yusa's conspicuous transfer to Yu's class, Nao brings her and the boys to their third task of Kanai Academy, where a student is believed to have telekinesis. Nao shows them the footage of baseball pitcher Arufumi Fukuyama, who pitches knuckleballs with his ability instead of his grip. They confront Arufumi, who refuses to stop using his ability, but now organizes a baseball match between the two academies' baseball teams, with the condition that Arifumi will stop using his abilities if Hoshinomi Academy wins. After 8 innings, both teams are evenly scored. In the 9th inning, Yu hits a few 4 balls and Misa runs for second base to home plate. Hoshinomi subsequently wins against Kanai 2-1. And as it was decided before the match, Arufumi admits to using his ability only to help Takato, who is the catcher and his best friend, trained to qualify the National League. The other assures that Arifumi can still be of much help to Takato, and Arifumi agrees to stop using his abilities. Then afterwards, learning of a user capable to flight, the student council camps out in the mountains, where the user has been training to master his abilities. During the first 2 nights, Yusa tells other members about her close relationship with Misa, while Nao tells Yu about her dreams of filming her favorite band named The End. Jojiro also later tells Yu that their abilities will only last for 2 more years. The day after that, the student council is confronted by Saito, the ability user who threatens them into leaving, but now dismisses his threat as a bluff. Saito then steals Nao's camcorder from her and attempts to escape by flying away. However, Saito is thrown by Yu and now convinces Saito to stop using his abilities. In the evening, Yu returns home to find Ayumi sick with a cold while eating dinner. And in the next episode, while Ayumi stays at home to recover, the student council learns of a student with a collapse ability in the condo complex and now suspects that Ayumi has developed said ability, as only a sick student would be home from school at that time of day. Ayumi is visited by Yu, Nao and Yusa for a dinner and is tucked into a bed at that night. After Yu learns that Ayumi dreamed about the ground suddenly cracking, a worried Nao instructs Yu to tell Ayumi to stay home one more day. Although her temperature has gone down, Ayumi sneaks out and goes to school. After Nomura prevents Oikawa from talking to Ayumi, Konishi threatens Ayumi with a box cutter, accusing Ayumi of supposedly stealing Oikawa from her. Backed into a corner, Ayumi activates her ability, causing the school wing to disintegrate around her, and Yu desperately searches through the wreckage for any signs of his sister. But while doing that, he is knocked unconscious by a piece of falling rubble. In the next episode, Yu wakes up in a hospital and learns that Ayumi has died in the school collapse. Now before moving further into the story, I would request you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because if you are interested in anime, manga or manhwa content, then this is the right place for you. So if you are interested, then definitely subscribe to Weeb Dyewell. He becomes a recluse in the despondency, showing no interest when Jojiro and Yusa comes to visit him. Yumi also comes by and expresses her concerns, but he refuses her help too. When government agent shows up at his apartment, Yu goes on a run and hides out in a manga cafe. Later, using his powers to pick fight with gangs and growing more unstable over time, he slowly turns his attention into drugs. But he is stopped by Nao, who has been secretly observing him the entire time. Nao convinces Yu to eat a proper meal as a bet, serving him a plate of omu rice, which Ayumi had been trying to perfect using his mother's recipe. Yu acknowledges that he has lost the bet and resolves to return to the student council with Nao to work harder in the memory of his sister. After Yu is welcomed back at the school by Jojiro and Yusa, the student council assembles to watch Yusa's new music video. Nao invites Yu to accompany her to a Zien concert since Jojiro and Yusa are not interested. Later that day, Yu comes across Sala Shane, Zien's blind vocalist, who treats him with okonomiyaki at the restaurant. After she helps Yu burn incense on the altar to pay respect for her loss of Ayumi, Sala later reveals that she overcame her blindness to get to where she is now. Afterwards, Yu takes Sala to see Kazuki in the hospital, where she sings one of her inspirational songs to calm Kazuki from his rage. Nao thanks Yu for helping to improve Kazuki's condition, and Yu wonders why he feels so nostalgic over Zien's music. At the Zien's concert with Nao, Yu feels a familiar sensation upon hearing what is supposed to be brand new song. He experiences an aberrant memory, in which he and Ayumi lived in a research institution in another parallel timeline where they were monitored for their abilities. When Ayumi collapse ability causes damage to the structure, a non-conformist scientist named Tsuchumoichi helps Yu escape and urges him to use his true ability to plunder other people's powers. Yu eventually reaches his brother Shunsuke Otosaka, who possesses the ability to time travel. Back in the present, Yu regains consciousness and now aware of the fact that he has a brother. Yu and Nao are then approached by Kumagami, who takes them to a secret underground heaven to meet with Shunsuke. In the past, Shunsuke and Kumagami, as well as their allied ability users Medoki, Shichino and Maedomari, tries to find a way to keep ability users safe from researchers with impure intentions. As Shunsuke time leaps multiple times to find a solution, his vision grew weaker with each leap. After one final leap which left him blind, Shunsuke used his idea of establishing a safe haven to buy an educational facility to serve as a school. That is Hoshinumi Academy. To keep them safe, Shunsuke arranges for Yu and Ayumi to be hypnotized by Medoki and have their memories of him erased by Maedomari. In the present, Shunsuke instructs Yu to plunder his time leap ability to return to the day before Ayumi died. Yu promptly plunders Ayumi's collapse ability, keeping her from accidentally using it. Later on, Yu and Nao use their powers to scar off Konishi so that she cannot harm Ayumi. With Ayumi finally safe, Kumagami takes her and Yu to Shunsuke. In the next episode, Shunsuke urges Yu to stay with Ayumi at the safe haven until his abilities disappear. In the research facility, Tsutsumiyuchi explains that people possesses their special abilities as a result of inhaling particles spread by the short period comet called as Charlotte, which passes Earth every 75 years. A vaccine is being prepared before the next pass of the comet though. Shunsuke's aide Furuki is threatened into handling Kumagami over to the ground of foreign territory in a factory. The terrorist tortures Kumagami to inquire information about the ability users, allowing the terrorists to hold the Nao and Kumagami hostage in exchange for Yu. Upon ensuring the safety of Furuki's family, Yu goes to the factory to ransom Nao and Kumagami but is attacked by a female ability user who slashes his right eye, preventing him from time leaping now. Yu activates his collapse ability, disintegrating the factory on the top of them all. Although Yu manages to use telekinesis to protect himself and the female ability user, Kumagami is impaled by the metal pipe as he shields Nao from the wreckage. In the next episode, Yu wakes up in a hospital with Meidoki, Shichino and Maedomari at his besides. He learns of the permanent loss of his right eye and the devastating death of Kumagumi. Ayumi, Jojiro and Yusa each visits him during Yu's rehabilitation. Also, Yu encourages Misa to express appreciation for her parents while she still has a chance. Being given this opportunity when Yusa hosts a television food reports on their family restaurant. After Shunsuke explains that Japan will be involved in terrorist attacks soon, Nao suggests for Yu to travel overseas to plunder the powers of all ability users worldwide. Though this could risk his sanity, he accepts this challenge and confesses his love to her, and they make a promise that he will come home safely. She offers him to plunder her ability so she can live a normal life. He then plunders the ability of Jojiro, Yusa and Misa, the latter of whom leaves behind a letter for Yusa expressing how much fun she had with all of them. Nao then gives some foreign language flashcards to Yu and he gives her back a MP3 player as a vow that he will come back to her once the mission is over. In the last episode, beginning his journey into the Philippines, Yu plunders an ability for seeking out other users and slowly starts taking the abilities from each user he met, earning him a reputation as the dreaded one-eyed Grim Reaper. At a paramilitary facility that exploits adolescent ability user, he gains an ability to detect those with dormant abilities, using an illness worsening ability to accelerate the ability's development in order to plunder them. As he travels to various countries, he begins to suffer from extreme stress and borderline insanity from acquiring so much power. Yet, seeing Nao's flashcards prevents him from going haywire. After taking powers of many people and upon discovering the last active ability user in China, Yu is critically injured from an attack by a male bounty hunter. But Yu defends the young female ability user of courage before being recovered by Shunsuke. An amnesiac Yu wakes up in a hospital back in Japan with Nao at his beside. After that, Nao informs him that they are lovers and expresses gratitude that he has kept the flashcards and their promise after all this time. With no other ability user present in this world, Yu, Nao, Jojiro, Yusa and Ayumi looks forward to the memories they will make from now on. The end. And I think that's for today's video guys. That was the video about Charlotte anime summary or recap. What are your thoughts about this anime? Have you already watched this anime? If you have done this, then let me know your thoughts about this anime in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post daily anime content about top 10 top 5 listings, anime reviews, recommendations, news, theories and all sorts of anime content on daily basis. So, if you enjoyed, please subscribe and that was it. And I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.